All right, so if you are looking to get into social media management, I'm going to give you the 3 best tools that I would recommend that you use to build your social media management business. These 3 tools are pretty much free. They all have free options and the paid plans are pretty cheap. So this is not going to cost you a lot of money. Now, a lot of these tools were the tools that we used inside of my marketing agency. My marketing agency did over 7 figures. We worked with over 300 clients. So what I'm going to show you has actually been proven to work. Okay, to create good content for clients, to keep your clients happy, and also make the business in a way where it's easier for you to run. First tool that I recommend that you use is Canva.com. Now I'm using the paid version of Canva here, which I pay, I believe, €11.99 per month for. That's maybe about $13 US. But as you can see here, they do have a free plan. And I actually used the free plan for a very long time. The only reason I use the paid plan now, which I'll show you in a moment, is there's a couple of key features that I use personally that just save me a lot of time. But with the free plan, you can still use their photo editor, which I'll show you here in a moment. You still have access to over 2 million templates. All right, that's literally giving you such a good starting point for creating content for clients that want to work with you. There's millions of stock photos and graphics you can use, so really you don't need the paid version. Why I like the paid version, it's actually this one right here, removing backgrounds in a click, which I'll show you right now. So I use Canva to create a lot of YouTube thumbnails. This is something I'm currently doing myself. I used to have graphic designers doing this for me, and I found that I'm getting pretty similar results, and it's sometimes quicker for me to just make it myself. For example, I had an interview with a student last night, so I recorded that, and as I was exporting the footage, which took maybe about 5 minutes, I was able to create the thumbnail in that time. This was the thumbnail. It's nothing crazy, but I found that this is actually working well. So the pro feature that I like to use, which I use on a lot of my thumbnails, is this. If you see here, it says BG remover, background remover. And if I remove this, as you see, I've actually isolated the background. And this is something that you literally can do in 1 click. So what I'll then do is I'll duplicate it. So I've got my front layer here, which is me. I've got the back layer, and this back layer I can blur, and I can even make the brightness lower. So it makes the thumbnail for YouTube pop out quite a lot. You see here, I've got a blur on this as well. So all of these that you see here were created in Canva, and you could use the free plan to create most of these. Again, that feature, the background remover, is pretty much the entire reason I pay for the premium. So if you want to create anything similar to this, it's all easily done in Canva. Other types of content I use Canva for is something like this, what we call a Twitter or X style post, very easily made in Canva. I believe they even have templates for this that you can just use. And here's some content that my team for my agency actually created within Canva. So you can kind of see the levels you can go to if you want to take this very seriously. Now, this is not how I use it. All right, I don't actually know how I would create this. This is just my team had put this together for clients. And we started to use Canva like this because we could all be logged in to Canva at the same time. This really sped up revisions. For example, let's say your video editor has just made this video. Your client wants you to post this today, but you've noticed there's a spelling mistake. Well, instead of needing to tell your video editor to change it, you can simply come into the Canva file, open the text, change the spelling. Like super easy, will take you literally 30 seconds, which is going to give you so much more control, getting a better service to your clients, and then probably sticking around a lot longer and paying you a lot more money. So a couple more examples so you can see what can be done in Canva. As you see, you can create video content like this. Personally, I don't use it for video. I just use it for YouTube thumbnails, some very simple graphics, and that's about it. But you can do video content like this in here as well. The second tool that I recommend looking into is CapCut. The second tool I recommend for social media management and content creation is CapCut. This is going to give you a lot more functionality for video. So you're going to be able to do a lot more in here that you either can't do in Canva or it's not so intuitive to do in Canva. Similarly, this has a free plan and a paid plan. I use the paid plan. Again, there's a couple of little features that I like to use, but you don't necessarily need it. To give you some examples of content that can be made in CapCut, something like this, which is a voiceover video. You can't hear it here, but I'm talking over this. This can be very easily created in Canva, where you would add in your audio file. You would then add in this case, clips of me, a bunch of 5 to 10 second clips. And then in CapCut, you can auto-generate these captions you see here. It'll just sync to the sound of your voice. Very easy to do. Content like this, video content, can be created in CapCut quite easily as well. You could do this in Canva. This is nothing too fancy, but this is content that works really well for me. Okay, if you want to get a little bit fancier, some of the CapCut templates are really damn good. Okay, so this is just a template that I would have used for a kind of transformation story post on my social media. And if you go to the CapCut template section in the app, you will see like there are hundreds and hundreds of templates, and they're really good. Oftentimes from people that are specifically just creating templates, like that's all they do. But the chances are you will be able to deliver exactly what your client is looking for between Canva and CapCut. It's quite rare that you'll need something else. Okay, tool number 3 that I recommend that you look into is an AI tool. Whether it's ChatGPT or the tool I'm currently using called Perplexity, they're both pretty much the same thing. You need to look into using some form of AI to speed up your content ideation, your strategy planning for clients, how you revise content, and a lot of these very manual tasks. When I started my social media management business back in 2019, it was a very different landscape. Okay, we did not have AI. So for example, I might have a meeting with a client, let's say an onboarding call where my client has agreed to work with me. I would then have to, take notes myself on that call. Then from those notes, try and build out a content calendar, a plan for the first month of content for that client. Then put all of that on a Google Sheet, get it sent to the client, get the client to approve it. Then once that was approved, send it to my content creator, so graphic designer or video editor, and get them to create content from that. Then once we get the content back from our content creator, we'd have to review the content. So just manually looking at it and seeing if we think it needs to be changed. Now, right, and this is why I'm showing you, this is just a section of my AI Social Media Marketing Accelerator course that all of my mentorship students have access to. In here, we talk about a few key ways you can use AI to save a ton of time. For example, in this section, we're looking at content ideation, and we talk about the fact that you could have an onboarding call with a client, which is recorded by AI. Then you take the recording of the call, you plug that into Perplexity or ChatGPT, you prompt it with the right prompt, and it will give you back a really good content calendar for that client based on the call that you had. So it's not generic, it's specifically tailored to what the client mentioned they want, their goals, and what their brand is all about, which they would have mentioned in the onboarding call. So that cuts the entire process pretty much not even in half, it cuts it nearly completely, right? That once very manual process can now be done 80% by AI, and that 20% is you putting the final touches on it, making sure it all looks good. We send that to the client, we get the approval from the client, you then send it to your content team, and when your content team sends you back your content, you can manually review it, or you can put it through AI. Let's say they've given you a graphic, right? Let's say they gave you something like this. You could take the graphic, plug it into AI and say, hey, here's a graphic my team member just created, check it for spelling, and now check it across the industry standards, let's say for a YouTube thumbnail, and let me know if there's any feedback or things that I can do to make this better so that when more people see it, they are drawn in to the image and they click on it and give me more views. So if you get a content piece back from a designer, an editor, and you're not really sure how to improve it, do that, right? Like use the tools that are there. In this next video, what we talk about is writing captions, okay? So taking the piece of content, but also taking the transcript from a call with a client, plugging it into AI, prompting it with the right prompt, and getting back written captions, okay? So you know the text that goes on an Instagram post like this, you can get that done from AI. And you'll see this is just a very short, right, caption. But if you want to get those long captions, where it's multiple paragraphs, you can get that done within AI. There's a lot more you can do with AI. That's why we have this entire mini course here for all of my mentorship students, because it's not just going to help you create ideas and content calendars and then write captions. As you see here, there's a long list of things you can do with it. So folks, there you have it. Those are the 3 top social media management tools that I would use if I was starting an agency again from scratch. Again, all 3 of them have free versions and they do have paid versions. Start with the free, give it a go, see what you can do with that, and only pay for it if you really need to. Many of the people I work with inside my mentorship program are doing really well. You know, you've seen the testimonials, you've seen them here on the channel, people doing 5K, 10K, 20K a month. And I can tell you now, a lot of them are using those 3 tools and probably nothing else. Sometimes they might have 1 or 2 other softwares, but very, very few. The reason I tell you that is because this is one of the most profitable businesses that you can start if you structure things the right way. And you don't need to be an expert. As you would have seen, we're leveraging tools and we're leveraging AI systems that are out there that will speed up the processes for you. So you really don't need to have years of experience in social media or marketing to do this. So use the tools. Let me know if you have feedback, and I hope this was valuable.